So while I'm waiting for your response, we will now move on to the chain quest here, the first of many here in Dawntrail. So let's go ahead and speak with Nahanshe to take on the first of our chain quests here in the game, entitled Rite of the Winds Chosen. Nahanshe needs help performing an honored tradition. Oho Kali Mathia! I know your name. Who isn't familiar with Muklamot's companions? Not to mention your friends can't seem to go a moment without mentioning you. Well, the Warrior of Light's reputation precedes him. I'm Nahanshe and I have the honor of being of the Winds Chosen. It is my feathers which adorned the festival float. Oh, well, thank you for your contribution. I feel the wind has guided you to me for a reason. As a visitor to our village who has fast become an older friend, I would offer you a chance to strengthen our bonds. How so? Perhaps you're familiar with the Lance Guard? It is customary among the Winds Chosen to save their wilted feathers and present them to these brave protectors as gifts every few years. At this very moment, one of their number is making their way to Okehanu to receive our offering, but there's much more to it than just a simple delivery, and I think you'd be interested in taking part. It would deepen your understanding of our ways, and perhaps you and this member of the Lance Guard will become fast friends. I will start with a small task if you're willing. Nahanshe is the name of our guest, and he was due to arrive some time ago. I fear he may be lost. Could you search the road for him? I'll stay behind in case he arrives here after all. Alright, and our person of interest is to the north. Do you know which one? Or is it just random? So as we arrive at the top of the hill... Oh, they're indicating we need to go down. Nope, because he actually is here on the path. Yeah, weird how the quest circle works sometimes. Alright there, Nahanshe. Good to meet you, sir. You're looking for me? You're not a Hanu unless you're molting something awful. No, just a Mikote. Ah, so that's the way of it. Well, now that you found me, I suppose I'd better get on with it. Sorry for my lack of enthusiasm. I joined the Lance Guard hoping that I could bust some skulls, slaughter some beasts, you know, use these muscles of mine. But for my first assignment, I'm lugging crates of supplies around. It's not exactly what I had in mind. Well, I guess everyone's got to do their part in some way, right? I suppose complaining won't get this done any faster. Let's go meet this Nahanshe then. Alright. Do you know which ones they are? Because yeah, once I do it, I want to make sure it's a character that I want to make sure that it's a character that I don't already have on my roster. Alright, so let's reunite now that the two have met for the first time. You found him! Now we can begin. Before the gift of feathers is to be bestowed, there are proper steps that must be taken. First, I bid the warmest of welcomes to Nahanshe. As the Winds Chosen, it is my solemn duty to show you what sights our humble village has to offer. As one of the Land Guard, it behoves you to become familiar with all corners of the continent, yes? Then come with me to the center of Okehanu, where you can behold the entire village at once. Okay, so we gotta go to a certain spot. You know, go close to the base of the Aetheryte. Yeah, competing lists. Alright. And so, now that we're here, on this beautiful starry night, take it all in. This is Okehanu. As you can see, our homes are made from wood and reeds, both of which the force blesses us with in abundance. But nature's blessings ought to be treated with care, for dry reeds can easily catch flame, and if they do, we risk setting our entire village alight. Building waterways through Okehanu is a way to protect us from such incidents, but aquatic beasts can trouble them as well, and when these beasts become too great in number, we beseech the Lands God to cull them. Do you now? I always thought hunting duty was just a way to keep us sharp. While I'm here, I'll make sure nothing troubles your home. All of Okehanu would thank you. And now for the reason you came. The feathers are the wind's chosen. They are used to adorn the equipment worn by the Lands God. Oh? That's fascinating. Yeah, that piques my interest. The design invokes the image of Kisha-Ihi, the great bird revered by all Hanu-Hanu. The feathers give it a touch of authenticity that makes the soldiers appear all the fiercer. Every soldier's outfit is designed according to the profession, and each feather must undergo an elaborate process of dyeing and oiling to meet the Lands God's very needs. So without further ado, let us begin. I first ask that you come meet me at the gates to the southeast. Fine. I should warn you, I'm not known for my delicate hands. Yeah, you can tell he doesn't seem to want to be here because I'm crossing my arms. That went about as well as expected. Could you stay behind him for a moment, Mathia? I would like to hear your opinion of Nahanshe. Oh, you really want that? Do I be brutally honest with you? Yeah, he's not the most motivated person, or he really doesn't want to be here. But yeah, option 1. I have the same impression. Truth be told, his attitude is the same as every Lands God troop who comes to receive this gift, and we're meant to fix it. Yeah, really? Consider this a rite of passage of sorts. The Lands God sends us troops whose rough edges want for polish, and the tasks we set before them serve as a whetstone. Over the course of our work, they gain a great insight into the history and meaning behind this exchange of gifts. Soldiers with a tangible bond to their charge will protect it all the more staunchly. In recent days, however, even our treasure trove of knowledge hasn't been enough to rouse the spirits of some. But working alongside someone as capable as you, Nahanshe may find the extra motivation he needs. Now then, let us proceed to the southeastern gate, and while this goes without saying, keep this little conversation between us a secret. Sure thing. Alright, let's go ahead and reunite with Nahanshe. Yeah, based on the list that you guys have shown me, I think I have everyone on that list except for Kiki and Ketching. Or Shichi and Ketching, rather. What did I do to deserve this? Now I know why my superiors were snickering behind my back as I departed. The Hanu might think this bird god is worth all this trouble, but I just wanted to get it over with. Yeah, how did you become a Lands Guard again? So let's go ahead and take our 373,000 experience points, 915 gil, plus an Aether Currents. And of course, as things go on, we will get the remaining Aether Currents as well, from not just quests, but also the main story. So let's speak with Nahanshe again, to take on our next quest entitled, One Feather at a Time. Nahanshe is ready to start cleaning feathers. Now that everyone is here, it is time to begin. Together, we shall make these feathers so striking that even Kisha-Ihi will be envious. The first items we require are dyes and oils. The former is used to match the feathers with the various uniforms worn by the troops. The latter serves a different purpose. As you can see by observing yours truly, Hanu boasts feathers full and colourful. This is thanks to the oils our body secretes, which keeps our coat from becoming drab and brittle. But the feathers we give to the Lands God were molted long ago, and have since lost their natural luster, so we must apply oil to make them as vibrant as those of a Hanu in their prime. The task of gathering said oils and dyes falls to Mathia. Go to Urkbekby where a crate has already been prepared. In the meantime, Nahanshe here will get the feathers. Alright then, let's go get ourselves a crate. Run by a guy carrying a bundle of reeds. C3 and C2? Yeah, I'm seeing up in the chats you guys are mentioning C3 and C2. Is this a new definition of organizing things in game that's recently been added into the new expansion? Alright, so as we arrive at Okbekbi, let's go ahead and speak with this chipper storekeeper over here. You're here about the supplies? Good, good. Everything in that crate over there. It's heavy, so be careful not to drop it on those dainty toes of yours. Well, I'm wearing a superhero costume, so even if I drop it, it might not hurt me. Worse still, you might break a bottle of dye. The Lance Guard artisan who designed their uniforms was very particular about the coloring, so not a single one can go to waste. There's nothing a soldier loves more than their equipment, so every detail has to be just right. Tread as carefully as you can back to Lanuhanu. Alright. Yeah, this is something that we've done before, where we have to carry something that's time limit oriented. Deliver the crates of dyes and oils to Lanuhanu at Okihanu before time runs out. You will have 3 minutes to complete the task. Should you fail, return to the starting location and begin anew. Be wary of attacks from enemies, which will sap your strength. So let's pick it up. And let's show how much of a superhero I really can be. So off we go. Hopefully the fact that it's nighttime will make sure that I'm not disturbed too much while carrying this uwu-wub. Yeah, what defines characters now as being C2 or C3? I'm guessing there's a C1, and is there anything higher than a C3? Yeah, just based on what you guys are telling me, the information that I'm getting is that I will want to choose between Chi-Chi and Catching, but I'm guessing that you two probably have your own insights on which of the two I should choose. Which one you think is better than the other? Oh, okay. Alright, I got it. So it looks like Lanuhanu and Nahanshe are hard at work. Or at least one of them is. Yeah, Nahanshe looks spent. You both did excellent work today. Nahanshe, it appears you might need some rest after your ordeal, hmm? How many feathers did you pack into that crate? Are you sure you didn't send me to get the dyes and oils? Be glad I didn't, Nahanshe, for Matthias' crate is much heavier. He also carried it from a much greater distance. Yeah, that's what happens when you're level 90 plus. Really now? And here I thought I was the stronger. Damn. Best to join my first assignment. And as someone who's not even from the Lands Guard. Right. Caught your breath there, Nahanshe? But that won't happen again. I've had enough rest, so let's get on with it. Yeah, let's see what you can do. If you insist, Nahanshe, let us proceed to the heart of the matter. First, we must dye each feather one by one, but be careful, for each color is needed in differing quantities. Equipment used to attack is adorned with black feathers, while equipment used for defense is adorned with feathers in their original green. For those, we must carefully... He's like, what? Hold on just a damn moment. We're dying all of these? One by one? I'll be an old man by then. There has to be a better way. Say, throw a few dozen of them in a big ball of dye. Yeah, you would like that, wouldn't you? Ah, but that will make the colouring uneven, Nahanshe. As I was saying, we must carefully apply oils to the feathers to bring out the original colour, or they quickly become brittle. Yeah, you wouldn't want that, would you? I see. This will be a test of patience, but with the three of us, it shall be over before the moon turns. Probably. Worry not, for I'm here to teach you how best to see the job done. I suppose I'm thankful for that. Truth be told, I never knew so much hard work went into our uniforms. For our brothers and sisters in the Landsguard, no effort is too great. The Hanu will honor that you are our feathers. And I'm looking at him like, huh? You're surprised. As the wind's chosen, seeing my feathers become a symbol of the great XIV fills me with a joy unequaled in this world. And to have them adorn the Landsguard's armor makes my joy all the sweeter. Few in Tyrol can claim such an honor, so there can be no mistakes. There's really more to this than I thought. It does seem that way, doesn't it? Yeah, it's not just the cloth you're wearing or the fancy armored ornaments that you have on. I would like to apologize for how I've been acting. I see now that things are done a certain way for a reason. Yeah, not everything centers around life hacks. So, while I may grow old and grey in the doing, I'll see that every feather is dyed or oiled properly. At least we're in this together, eh, Mathia? That's right. Alright, so let's see how we've come in our progress. Nahanshe? I reckon I'll be cleaning dye from under my nails for some days yet, but I won't complain about honest work. Now I have to think about how to get these back to Tuliolol. Don't get so ahead of yourself, young Nahanshe. Yes, the hard part is behind us, but there is more I would ask of you. As I've said before, XIV is revered by the Hanu and we must pay due respect for the use of its likeness. As such, there are time-honored rituals that must be followed before we give this offering to the Landsguard. And so before we learn about that, we'll take our 333,000 experience and 1,001 gil. Because they just can't round down to 1,000, they have to give us the extra gil for reasons. Anyway, let's speak with Hanu again to take on our next quest entitled The Wind's Blessing. Hanu is eager to see his feathers blessed. Our next step is simple. We must bring the feathers before the likeness of XIV in Kusanouki, and have the priestess beseech the great bird to bestow the wind's blessing upon them. More lugging that crate around then? I can do it, but if we're going any further than last time, I might need a couple of breaks. Do not worry, Nahanshe. I will carry the feathers. I have something different in mind for the both of you. A friend of mine awaits you on the road to Kusanouki. Speak with him, and do exactly as he instructs. Alright. I mean, considering the feathers that he's wearing and considering the feathers that I'm wearing, I think we'll be just fine. It looks like the clouds have rolled in. Or maybe not. Yeah, maybe just the fact that dawn is approaching being a trick of the light. Back through Uwu-Wub. Alright, thanks for joining us, Elizabeth. We'll hopefully see you tomorrow. Time to cross some bridges. And just take the rare opportunity to admire the beautiful landmasses that we're riding our chocobo through. Yeah, can you imagine if this was an alpaca? So as we make it to the next bridge, yeah, we have a carefree Hanu to speak to. Hello there. Welcome, welcome. I understand you seek the blessing of the wind. The priestess requires a special type of bark to complete the ceremony, and your job is to gather it. But you must tread carefully, for the shores where the trees are found teem with hungry beasts. I suggest clearing the area first, so no one doesn't sneak up on you. I don't mind a bit of a hunting, but these arms aren't meant for... apologies. I suppose complaining is a habit I should aim to break. This is all part of the process of making our equipment, isn't it? There's a reason we need this bark, so get the bark we shall. I'll search the south side, Mathia. You take the north. Alright. So away he goes, and then away I go. Let's do it. And then through Uwuipoga. We'll merge with this path, or quote-unquote path. It's not much of one. Yeah, probably meant to trick people into getting lost or something. So let's make our way over to... just into getting our feet into the river. That's not my chocobo. Let's find something to duel. Like these two. Alright, let's have at it. It's not often we've had the opportunity to actually engage in combat so far in this expansion. Alright, enemies defeated. So let's help ourselves to some bark off of this tree. Back to whence we came. Get some more water in my throat. Alright, back up to the bridge. It looks like the Nahanshe's already done his part. Well done, you two. You brought exactly what I asked. But I suppose you're still curious as to why the bark had to be taken from those specific trees. The answer lies within the legend of Kisha-Ihi. You see, our ancestors hailed from a different land and were guided here by the Great Bird. But upon their arrival, they found perilous woodlands overrun by hungry fiends. Many Hanu were lost to the gluttonous appetite of the wilds, and they had nearly succumbed to despair. But then, Kisha-Ihi let out a mighty screech. It echoed through the land, setting the trees aglow. Taking this as divine guidance, our beleaguered ancestors took bark from the trunks and burnt it. The smoke wafted through the air, and the beasts found it so repugnant that they were forced to flee, one and all. Since that day, warriors would burn incense before battle in the hopes that it would ward them from harm. Thus, we bless the Landsguard's feathers in the same way that they too might bask in Kisha-Ihi's protection. Now, take the bark to Kusanayuki, and on the way, I'll be glad if you offer your sincerest prayers to the Great Bird. Alright. Let's forge onward. Yeah, we pretty much know where we're going at this point. We've been there before. And it's a beautiful start to the day, and perhaps very appropriate for what we're about to do next. Yeah, let's take a shortcut here. Move our way through Uwuipoga. there's Kozanayuki. So, upon our arrival at the shrine, let's go ahead and speak with Nahanshe and we'll complete the quest. We're finally here. Mind giving me your bark? I'll deliver to the Hanu priestess. Here you go. Thank you, Mathia. Once I've finished, let's offer our prayers. Wouldn't want to disappoint our host after all. And so sometime later. The Hanu take their tradition seriously, don't they? I knew they wished for good harvests and such, but never imagined we Landsguard were in their thoughts all this time. Yeah, who would have guessed? This has been an eye-opening experience, to be sure, but I can't help but wonder why we're so important to them. Why allow us to use their revered god in the designs of our equipment? Aren't you a Landsguard yourself, and you would ask such questions? Oh, bad music is being played. Yeah, I think 3 Hanu are taking exception to the fact that we're questioning their methods. Hello there, Zuli Holly. You're Mathia, aren't you? I am Zuli Holly. I know we have you to thank for Ihihana's success, but even so, I must ask that you stand aside. You're like, why? You are Nahanshe, of whom I've heard much. I'm surprised you have the gall to step foot into such a sacred place. While the elders may sing the praises of the Landsguard, their minds have been warped by too many moltings. The new generation is sick of their ceaseless chirping. Wow. Yeah, these 3 want to break with tradition. You have to say your lines. Remember how we practiced. Lines? Oh, yes, I understand. Yeah, you can tell he doesn't want to be here. We heard you complain when you took the feathers. We saw the disdain in your eyes. Someone with such disrespect for our history doesn't deserve to bask in Kisha Ihi's grace. What? But I... Is this part of the rite of passage, or he's not so bad anymore, or he'll learn in time? Yeah, we were trying to learn all of this while you're trying to be a bunch of jerks. That may be so, Mathia, but he's had enough chances. We refuse to suffer this Landsguard to be in Okehanu. Listen well and remember, the sacred likeness of Kisha Ihi was once reduced to shredded reeds. By whom, you ask? Why, none other than Galul Jar Jar, Dawn servant and founder of the Landsguard. What? No, the Dawn servant were never... This misdeed will never be forgiven. If you have any pride in your position, you should be ashamed at your ignorance and lack of respect. How will you answer for that? Yes, you answer and answer well, or we will be very angry with you. What about the third guy? Does he have anything to say? The answer is no. Yeah, this learning curve suddenly got so steep it became a straight line. I had no idea about this history of conflict. Why didn't Lanuhanu say anything? And why am I taking blame from the past? Can I introduce you to the 2020s, sir? In any case, we can't stay here. I have to think about this. And I need to get some more water in my throat. I seriously need a permanent way to deal with this, because I can't keep going on like this. Okay, hopefully that's enough to get me through tonight's end. So let's go ahead and take our 373,000 experience points, albeit humbly, and 1,001 gil. Yeah, that was quite a beating over the head, wasn't it? Let's go ahead and speak with Nahanshe again to take on the last part of our series of quests for this first chain quest in Dawntrail entitled Nahanshe's Answer. Nahanshe is visibly shaken. I don't see why some Zuli Holly would lie, but how have I never heard of the Dawn Servant's affronts to the Honu Honu? And why would Lanu Hanu act so proud as to have his feathers so adorning our equipment? I'm no good with numbers, but even I can tell something doesn't add up here. Yeah, who's not telling the truth? Yeah, we'll have to find the truth something ourselves. We should learn more about their history, or I thought something was off too. Oh, then it wasn't just me. Either way, I'd like to leave here on the Hanu's good side. Well, our best bet is probably to return to OK Honu. If anyone can tell us the truth about what happened with the Dawn Servant, it would be Lanu Hanu. Well, then we better get going. Let's head on back. Oh, crap. Lost handle on my control. And yes, I know I could have easily said that very differently. So now that we're back here in Okihanu, let's go ahead and speak with Nahanshe. I don't see him. But the crate's not here either. He might have left to Kusanoyuki already. Wouldn't we have seen him on the road if he had, though? The forest is vast, I suppose. Anyways, maybe one of the younger Honu Honu around here can tell us if Zuli Holly's scorn is shared. Let's ask around Mathia. Alright. Yeah. Can anyone give us a straight answer? Or are they just gonna beat around the bush on it? And speak in riddles or whatever. Starting with Onu Holly. Can you tell us what's going on? Of course! Every Hanu knows the story of the Dawn Servant's visit, but it might be more accurate to call it a rescue. For at the time, our home was beset by beasts and fiends. When Galore Jar Jar heard this terrible news, he personally came up to drive out every last one. Really? So yeah, something is afoot. So let's get off the main pavilion. The next person I speak with is over here. Oh, let's go to Hanu again. Hello. Zuli Holly said all that? Well, I do remember hearing that when our ancestors beheld the ruined figure, some of them viewed it as a terrible insult, even though they were saved. Could that grudge have been inherited by their children and grandchildren? I can't speak on such matters, but perhaps Lanu Hanu can. He is wise in all ways and makes an effort to befriend everyone he can. Alright, let's go. One more to try and get an answer out of. Yeah, would it be fair to say that what we've been seeing so far in Dawntrail has perfectly epitomized this decade at large? Let's speak with Jinu Holly. The likeness of Kisha Ihi. My father actually worked to repair it. He told me that the Dawn Servant slaughtered the beast was swift and brutal, but left many of our shrines and homes damaged in its wake. But what choice did he have? The fiends were at our doors. My father and his friends agreed that it was better to be alive. At least that way they could rebuild. But is that something that these selfish Hanu can come to understand? So back over to Nahanshe. What's the word, Matthias? From what I heard, the Dawn Servant really did destroy that sacred figure. Well, there's more to it than that. I see. I can't say I'm surprised that some Hanu would bear a grudge. So, Zuli Holly was telling the truth. Something still doesn't sit right with me, though. The Dawn Servant wouldn't simply go on a rampage and leave the Hanu to clean things up. He'd have more compassion than that. Nahanshe! Matthias, you won't believe what happened! Oh, Hanu's back. I was surrounded by Zuli Holly and her cronies while on my way to the shrine. They stole the crate of feathers from out of my claws, saying no Landsguard could have it until Nahanshe gave his answer. I assume you know what they're talking about? They said that if you ignore their demand, they'll burn every last feather. What? Have they gone mad? Gods be good, I'm sorry, but can you go and store them for a while? There's something I must look into first. Yeah, you can tell that when I'm crossing my arms, there's a reason for it. I know what you're thinking, Matthias. Isn't this going a little too far? Yeah. I would answer that the results should speak for themselves. Now we simply wait and see what Nahanshe brings us. Zuli Holly and the others are waiting in the south of to the south of the shrine. Let us go there and stall them as Nahanshe requested. Well, then we better hurry. Because instead of a book burning, it's going to be a feather burning. Yeah, that means we gotta race across the river. Yeah, a lot of precious feathers are at stake on this one. I've seen the ads for those, yeah. I guess they're trying to expand their ways of trying to attract new players or something. Because yeah, I can tell you that my sister actually plays World of Warcraft with her husband. Yeah, they've actually been together for about 10 years now, if I remember correctly. Which is crazy given that my sister was my childhood bully, and I always thought of her as an ultra-feminist and that she always looked down on men. So to know that she married a guy was certainly really shocking that she actually found someone. But they've been madly in love for a decade. So credit where credit is due. And they also run a few businesses together. Yeah, they own a store and they also run their own moving truck business. Alright, there. I'm here. Nahanshe should be here soon. We were lucky to have you to spur him into action, Matthias. And while our methods may appear rather blunt to you, wait until Nahanshe speaks before you judge us. Wait quietly and hear his answer. Jeez, you must really want this. So here he comes as fast as he can. Yeah, you want an answer? You're gonna get one. I don't know why you make us wait so long, Nahanshe, but I hope whatever you found was worth it. I spoke with the eldest Hanu in your village. He told me the story of the Dawn Servant's visit and the destruction of the Kisha Ihi's likeness. The whole story. And while we're about to find out the reason why, hey Minuet, welcome to the stream, glad to have you with us. Good to see you. And hopefully we can help you relax after your 14-hour shift. It seems he, particularly the head of reason, was filled with anguish at the sight and offered his deepest apologies. To make amends, he devised a way to assemble an even more robust figure from the remains of the previous one. His work was done overnight, and the head of Resolve called upon the whole village to celebrate their newfound peace. For the first time in a long while, Ihi Hana commenced, and the Dawn Servant was chosen to ride the sacred floats. They chose the person who destroyed it and put it back together to ride the float. After the festivities, the Dawn Servant said that when he finally established a unified nation in Tyrol, he wanted a motif representing Kisha Ihi to be among those used in his soldiers' uniforms. He declared that different tribes can forge friendships so long as they open their hearts to one another, that his nation would be one where peoples of all stripes could live in harmony. His soldiers will become a symbol of that promise. So you can learn for yourself after all, but you should have come here with that knowledge already seared into your memory. Yeah, his superiors left him in the dark. I know. I have no excuse for my ignorance, and the petulance born from it. This experience has taught me so many things. And now, with full knowledge of this history, I'm filled with a much greater sense of purpose than before. I feel more keenly than ever that my duty as a Landsguard is to serve every corner of Tyrol. But to fulfill that duty, we must have our equipment. So please, I beg of you, entrust the feathers to me in good faith. Does his conviction come through? Or are you going to be just that unwilling? Well, out with it. He'll be a fine soldier. Don't you agree, Lanu Hanu? What? Did we guess hiding behind a tree? Or just arriving on scene? Yes, indeed. That was quite the moving display. My feathers were standing up straight. Thank you for looking after Nahanshe during its growth, Mathia. Was this staged or something? Well, my growth? What are you talking about? Why, this was all a performance. A performance to guide you along the path to becoming a worthy Landsguard. Your rite of passage is complete. Yeah, they were wanting to go to drastic action in order to convince you to be more of a man. So my superiors weren't pulling one over on me. They were worried about me, and I didn't realize my conduct was so concerning. Tell them what you told us and their concerns will vanish. You'll be welcomed back with open arms. But before you do that, aren't there more places to visit? More materials to collect? We Hanu aren't the only people who love teaching lessons. Please, I don't want to think about that now. I was worried sick enough imagining about what would happen if I couldn't get the feathers. Well, you've earned a bit of rest. Return to OK Hanu and we'll deliver the feathers to you after the priestess has blessed them. That part, at least, was no ruse. If you don't mind, I'd like to go to Kusanayuki. I feel I should offer one more prayer to Kisha Ihi. Well, you certainly scared him straight enough to do that. Very well. Mathia, why don't you just wait at OK Honu? I'll bring the feathers, and I'd like to speak with you once more before you go. Alright, we'll see you there. And don't try to pull another fast one. Alright, back to OK Hanu. Alright. So let's go ahead and complete this first chain quest. Lanuhanu? Now that the rite of passage is behind us, allow me to offer my thanks for all your help. I would also offer my apologies for making you party to our little deception. I would have told you everything, but I don't think the ending would have been quite so effective if I did. I agree, and I'm grateful things went the way they did. The lessons I learned here will guide me as I become acquainted with all of Tuol's peoples. Speaking of which, the next leg of my journey awaits. May we meet again. So yeah, where will your journey take you next? Who knows? So with that, we will accept our 373,000 experience points, 1,044 gil, plus a choice of food. We have boiled alpaca steak, which is skill speed, so that's best meant for bards and ninjas. Omelette rice, or omu rice, for healers. Shrimp cocktail, for tanks. And mezcal marinated swamp monk, which we've seen before, or Nightwold silver piece. But we're gonna go ahead and take the swamp monk. And off goes Lanuhanu. And there we go. The quests for the first half of Kozama Uka are now all finished. So that means we can now move on, because now that we've got things done here, it means that we can go next stream over back to Okopacha, because we haven't done any of the side quests there yet. So that's what we will commit tomorrow to doing. With that, I'd like to thank everyone for watching the continuation of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail live here on Twitch. And so with that, thank you everyone for watching, and until next time everyone, may you ever walk in the light of the crystal.